Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, what's happening? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Bandigolau, owner of Alpha Male Barbers, and today I'm inside the legendary Ego Barbers in North London. I'm amongst what I'd call barbering greatness today. This is high level barbering. I've got Harry Karolis, owner of Ego Barbers, and I've got one of my original mentors, Stell the Talent. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. First and foremost, no one's ever called me by my surname in that way, and respect for that, man. That's how my family would actually say my surname. Do you know what I mean? So respects for that.
Man.
Yes, absolute pleasure, man, and thanks for coming down. 2.5 hour drive from Birmingham, and it's an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate it. Guys, what's interesting about you two is, from what I know, your backstories are quite parallel. So you both got introduced into the industry from your uncles. Is that right?
Well, kind of. I was sort of brought into the industry from my uncle in Cyprus, who's a very renowned hairdresser in the European hairdresser committee. He took me to a good academy to work and train, which was at Daniel Gavin's, and then obviously I followed through my training at Vidas Sassoon, and that's how it started for me.
For me, it weren't so much like uncle, but I had a lot of. I had my sister was a hairdresser, and then my brothers, both of them underneath me, are both barbers now.
When you were cutting hair in Cyprus, who were you cutting with?
Oh, that was a family friend.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
so
okay. That's where I got it
was
mistaken.
it was an older figure. So at the time it was a guy called Dino, but I was working for his dad called Andy, who was a traditional old school barber. Yeah, he was excellent, man. I learned a lot from him.
So, Harry, you did some time in New York as well.
Yes, I was a session stylist in New York. I worked in New York for 6 years. So I was like a freelance. I used to work on film sets, fashion shows. That was in my kind of younger career.
So how did you go from New York to London?
It's just an opportunity that presented himself. I got to meet people from doing photo shoots. I got to meet makeup artists, other hairdressers, and the opportunity was to travel and go and work in America, which was New York back in the 90s,
Right.
which was an amazing experience.
Okay. How long did you do there?
6 years, coming up to close enough to 6 years. Yeah,
Wow.
worked with famous fashion designers, doing catwalk shows and stuff like that. So it was a great experience.
Stell, I'm gonna tell the story of how I met Stell, right? Because it still makes me laugh. So I went down to the London School of Barbering where Stell used to teach. I was friends with Theo, who was also a teacher there. And the first day I get there, I see Theo. Theo said to me, "If you come to the barber school, I'm going to teach you. I'll make sure you're looked after." And I went down into the office to put my stuff away, and it was just me, Theo, and Stell. So Theo introduces me to Stell. Nice guy. We're both from Cyprus. We've got that little connection. Anyway, we're being taught that day by the owner of the barber school, right? At the end of the day, now bear in mind, nobody in my group has met Stell yet. They've seen him, they've heard him speak, but they haven't met him. So at the end of the day, the owner says to us, "Right, I'm going to bring Stell in now, and he's going to go over the cleaning every day, how it should be done." So Stell comes in. All right, I know him, so that ice is broke between me and him. But this is along the lines of this. He's like, "Right, guys, so this is what we're going to do. Every day, this is how I want it done. Your chairs, your mirrors, the bases, your sections, everything needs to be tidy. And if it's not done, none of you going fucking home until it is." And everyone was like, "Oh shit," right? So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm either going to really get on with this guy or we're going to kill each other. It was one of the two, right? And what I was fascinated by was Stell had this tact. The way he dealt with everybody was like spot on. Yeah. People were just drawn to him. And even though he wasn't the owner of the barber school, people didn't care about the owner's respect. Everybody wanted Stell's respect and Theo's respect, right? And I understood that this guy was onto something. I understood that his knowledge, his skill set, but the way that he just dealt with people, I understood that I need to get as much out of him as I can in 9 weeks before I go back home. So I was trying to, we'd be on the tube back to North London after the school, and I'd be asking him questions about all sorts of stuff, just trying to get as much as I could. And I thought to myself, at the time I was on Instagram, but I was, still wasn't. You weren't for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm still... the thing is with me and Instagram, we have a love-hate relationship.
Right.
I don't want it to like overtake my life,
Yeah.
so I don't worry about it too much. But then again, now I'm in a different position. I'm very, very lucky, man. I'm very fortunate. Harry's got a big account. It doesn't necessarily need me to plug because I'm not that concerned about it.
But here was my thing, right? So I felt like I'd stumbled across a gem in the barber industry. And a lot of people knew him because the school had a lot of custom, a lot of students. But I thought, fucking hell, a lot of people aren't aware of Stell, you know? And
Well, they definitely are now. So Stell. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's right.
What Stell has is phenomenal. His attention to detail in the classroom is second to none. It blows me away every time. I'm the kind of person that if I've seen it once, I've seen it twice, and I've seen, because when you do education, we always look to change it up. But when you're doing it all the time, it's going to be the same.
yeah.
But he still manages to grab my attention, and I don't find myself falling asleep. Do you know?
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you know what I mean? Well, I say that because Stell's got this way of dragging you in and sort of demanding that respect for you to learn. And when he shares that knowledge, you wanna take it in, and then you question yourself, and then he questions you to question yourself. Do you know what I mean?
I felt like he would make you work at a high standard, and you wanted to do well to get his approval. But then this was the interesting thing, right? So away from Stell, I was already following you on Instagram, right?
This was
And
back. This is
We're talking 6
okay.
years ago,
Oof, bloody hell.
right? So I was following you back then, and I was friends with some of the boys that ended up being here, Theo and Tabby and and Vass and them boys. And what I saw was you were building this like super team of barbers.
Yeah.
And then Stell emerges on Instagram, and then Stell comes to Ego Barbers, and I was like, oh shit, we're about to see something good.
Yeah.
Right? I knew it. And then how did you get to Stell?
Stell was highly recommended to me, but Stell drew to my attention for his ability to educate, and it's something that I knew would be beneficial for my company, but at the same time beneficial for my new company. So to approach someone like Stell, my philosophy is not to be greedy, is to be able to share with people that deserve it and work hard for it. So it was no brainer. I wanted someone that was going to come in and deliver an education which is not only outstanding, but he can put his heart and soul into it. So there's nothing better than a way of doing that and offering him 50% of your company. We're talking about the education company. Now, when me and Stell come in, look, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of ifs and buts along the way before we created Kings of Tomorrow, KOT.
It took time, man. It took a lot of time.
And for me, Stell was recommended to me, and he was highly recommended by someone that I look up to in the industry who has heard about Stell's ability to teach people in the classroom. Now, for me, when you deliver something and people see you deliver it, and you go on stage and you deliver it on stage, but you need to have an end product. So that product has to be outstanding, not only when you see it as a showcase, but as an education level. And that's where me and Stell sort of come together. We didn't sort of come together. I offered him a job, and he still works for Ego now, and he's my partner in education. So it works really well because he treats my business like his business as well. So we're a team. We've done a lot together over the past 3 years. We've traveled to 20 different countries.
Wow. Yeah. Stell, did you anticipate that if you were going to leave where you were before, you were going to still teach?
Yeah, to be honest, my passion, don't get me wrong, Bam, I love cutting hair, you know this, yeah? But for me, educating people is what draws me to, it excites me to get up every day and to know that I can pass some knowledge on to people. For me, that excites me. Because a haircut, the way that I see it is, to be a good barber, for me, you just have to find consistency, yeah? Obviously, educate yourself along the way, find the right people to get educated by, have mentors, and look at people that are in positions where you want to get to, yeah? But for me, what really ticks my boxes is like, wow, I can help this person, and it's way more than a haircut that I'm going to redo in 2 weeks. So that feeling of doing a great haircut, you'll have to get into that mode to do it again 2 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, whatever it is, and however long it takes your client to come back. But with education, you could pass on knowledge that will change someone's direction in life. You can't beat that.
Remember, I don't know if you remember, but on the last day when we were leaving, remember what I told you and Theo outside the pub? I said,
no, we might have had a few pints.
I said to you guys that what you've done for me and you're gonna meet a lot.
Yes,
you're gonna meet a lot of me. Yeah. You're gonna meet so many students, but you guys, when you teach, we're only gonna get taught by X amount of people. You guys were the start of my career, and no matter how many times I'm gonna tell the story of how I started, Stell's name is always going to be mentioned. You know.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
But you do, as a teacher, you do more. You mean more to the student than the student means to you, because you'll have a lot of students, whereas we don't have that many teachers.
I think, yeah, I know where you're coming from. There is certain students, though, through your longevity of teaching, where they will stand out for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do deal with big volume of students. But like I said, me and Harry have come across very talented students in different areas. It might be in terms of cutting ability, it might be their passion, it might be their determination. So you do have people, I mean, I'll always remember you because of the way that we started.
Yeah.
Obviously we're Greek, we have that connection to start with anyway. But yeah, I think you said what you wanted to do and you've done it. So I commend you for that and respect that you've gone, you've opened your shop, and you're treading your path. So that makes me happy.
Before you got Stell, were you always planning to do the education side, Harry?
To be honest with you, no. The education side of it come from demand. The demand was back then we're talking about maybe 100 DMs a day. Come and teach us. And teach us.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's serious volume.
So it was like, okay, because I've been doing this for 26 years. You got to remember, I was a hairdresser for like 13 years, on top of being a barber for like 13 years as well now.
Right.
Close enough. So what I'm doing now in barbering, I've done before in hairdressing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but in a different time scale.
Okay.
Obviously without social media. So, the demand was there, so when people wanted to learn and there was so much demand, it was no brainer. It was like, let's get on the education. Let's give back to the industry.
I actually didn't believe him. When he DM'd me for a job, he said, "I'll come down. I want to talk about a job opportunity."
Okay.
So I was like, "What is this guy on anyway?" Because I'd never met Harry. I never knew him before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I remember having a conversation with my brother. I said, "George, Ego's DM me, and he's saying to go down."
You were aware of Ego, though?
Yeah, I was aware of Ego as a brand, but I'd never met Harry. Obviously, I knew Tabby and I knew Theo.
They used to draw us up as a threat back in its own day.
So I said to my brother, got this DM, what should I do? He goes, go, speak to him and see what the deal is. So I remember going in and we went to Costa Coffee a few doors down.
Yeah.
And he goes to me, this is my plan. I want to set up an education business. I want to give you 50% ownership of it. And I want you to work in my barbershop as well until we get it up and running. And I was like, yeah, sounds amazing, but where's all the demand? And he goes, oh, I'll show you. And I was like, show me what? And he goes, oh, I've got loads of DMs. And he handed me his phone. And I was just scrolling, come teach us. Oh, I admire your work. And I was just message after message after message. I was like, wow. So already for me, I was just thinking, wow, whatever we create has to be, as good
up to that level.
Yeah, it has to be to deliver, because obviously he's recognised worldwide.
So many people, Harry, were expecting a lot from you, it would be bad for you to go and not deliver to the potential, to the standard that people think that you've got.
It's more than just delivering, showcasing. Do you know what I mean? So for us, it's about delivering an education which is outstanding, so the students can go away and learn from it and take it away. And even if they're taking 10, 20, 30, 50% or whatsoever, even though they're taking a certain percentage where they've learned.
Yeah.
So those students that, you're changing people's careers, you're helping them grow, you're helping them, fulfill what they need to fulfill to become better version of themselves.
And the thing with this is, you guys are teaching something that makes people money in the long run. People are opening businesses and providing for their families off what you guys have taught.
It has a lot of value.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
It has a lot of value, and that's what we're about. We're about the people. We're not chasing front covers and magazines and stuff like that. And I'm so famous. We're not. We're not that way inclined. We're
like down to earth.
We're down to earth, and at the same time, we're very raw and very real. And we keep our circle very, very small.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we've got a certain amount of people that we could count in one hand that we trust. But we're not about, wanting to be the best or this. We don't go around trying to.
There was actually something that I said to Harry before we made the deal to work together, and I said to him, I will come and I will work at Egos. I will happily be employed by you because I think it's a great opportunity to work in the shop. I mean, you've seen it in real life, so you know what it's like.
Yeah.
And in terms of the education, I said to him, no problem, we'll be partners, but I have one rule, and
Right.
that rule is, and Harry will tell you, I said to him, it's never about you and it's never about me. So when we go there, I don't want ironic as it sounds, I don't want no ego to go on stage and be like, well, I'm Harry and I don't care about that. And especially when we're in a classroom with 10, 20 students, it's not about how well I cut hair. That is totally irrelevant. It's about what we can give you as a paying customer. So you go away and you feel, if you spent £1,000 with us, that £1,000 is well spent. And everyone that we've been in contact with and been lucky enough to educate because they've trusted us, we've only had good feedback from it. And we still keep in touch with a lot of them anyway, because they're happy to share with us their journey. And that's a big deal for me, man. He will tell you, that's exactly what I said to him. That was a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like in the industries that we're in, and I say this a lot, but there's only so far you can get if you actually don't give a shit about people. You've got to care for. Yeah. It's not just
It's always about the people. It's always about the I would say the customers, and it's like anything. You want to, I've had a new floor laid. I want a good job done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What is your price?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And this is about, basically you pay for quality. Do you know what I mean? You don't pay for quantity.
Yeah.
And we're all about delivering the best education.
I think, maybe it's because I knew Stell already, but I think you guys give that vibe anyway. It's not just about, hey, look at me. It's about let you kind of what you do the talking. Let your skills do the talking.
Yeah, always about, it's not about, and at the same time we socialize with the students as well. We don't just hold ourselves back.
Yeah.
We give them more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we interact with them on a not only on a professional level but on a real level.
I've seen you guys when people have come over for your training, you guys have took them out to dinner and stuff like
definitely.
that.
We've made a lot of friends,
Yeah,
and we've got some boys from Portugal. We've got a lot of close friends in America. We've got great guys in Chile, all around the world.
Yeah.
And we've become friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think you got to be real, and at the same time you got to be professional.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to see that they succeed, because a lot of them, when they come and they do courses with us, one of the questions is that we ask them is like, what do you want to achieve from it? Because anyone can just take a course because it's the in thing.
Yeah.
But really, what are you going to do with the information? What are your goals? Because if I kind of know what your goals are, I can go back and give you some advice that maybe no one will tell you, in like how to be successful in, not me, I haven't had a shop personally, but as an employee, for example, what would be expected? Because cutting hair, as a boss now, that's only such a small part of it. There's little things like that, and it goes way beyond just what you're going to teach them to cut hair, I believe.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you got to give back to people. I'll give you a prime example. There's a barber in Barcelona, and I've been talking to him now for the last 6 months, and he leveled up with me a few weeks ago. He goes, "Look, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I don't have the money to bring you over yet, but I'm saving. I've just started up my barber shop, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been talking to you for the last 6 months because I want to talk to you." Because I've looked up to you ever since I started barbering. You're a big inspiration to me, and it was kind of it sort of threw me back. Like, this guy had to kind of lie to make out that he wants to bring us for education just to talk to me, which I said to him, look, it's not, obviously it's not a problem, man. Don't be silly. Do you know what I mean? When the time's right, we'll come over. And I actually met him when I'd done a seminar in Barcelona, and he's a really nice guy. But the thing is, he likes to talk, and he will talk for hours and hours and hours. And he just, he leveled up with me, and he goes to me. So sometimes people, there's nothing wrong with giving them more. And I think that's when you become a people's person, and that's where people will respect you, not only professionally, but as a human being. And that's what we're about, man. We're about helping people in every act, in every way possible.
But I feel like when everybody's offering a similar service, it's the personality. And I go back to what Stell and Theo taught me. Was they said 50% of it's the cutting hair and 50% of it's you, and I still stand by that today.
You find yourself, like, obviously, as the industry started booming, everyone wanted to become an educator. Everyone wants to go on stage.
Yeah.
And by all means, man, we wish them well. If you can sell courses and people want to come and watch you cut hair and you want to educate, by all means. But there was this fashion of becoming an educator, becoming showcasing and do your thing. That's fine. What me and Stell do is this is real. We do this for real. This is not to get credit to be seen on stage. We do this. We travelled to Chile, destinations that are 15 hours away.
Yeah.
Got off a plane, got on that stage in front of 2,000 people, educated, done a workshop, done another day of education. Do you know what I mean? So we're doing this for real. We're not just doing it just to get
to say you've done
just
it.
to be on stage.
This
is real. This is real traveling. It's hard work.
And it takes a lot out of you, yeah. So behind closed doors, it all looks glamorous, but it's hard work.
What I was like impressed by was everybody wants to do education now, but you guys have been on it, like, especially with you, Stell. Like, you've been doing this for time.
Yeah, long time.
It's not like you're jumping on the bandwagon now because everybody else is.
I've been lucky enough to learn. Listen, just because you are a good barber doesn't necessarily mean that it translates into you being a good educator. And I had to teach. I feel it came naturally to me to a certain degree, but there's still a lot that you've got to learn. There's a lot of self-mentoring, and there's a lot of times where you've got to look at yourself and think, did I handle that situation well? Did I get across the message that I wanted to get across? Was I too harsh? Was I not harsh enough? Did I articulate well? So it's a constant. I mean, me and Harry have changed our syllabus for what we deliver for Ego Kings of Tomorrow. We've been running the education for 3 years together. I've changed it 3-4 times up to now because I will look up to certain people and they will test my belief system and they'll say, Stell, you describe it like that, but I see it like this. And it's like, oh, sugar, man. And then I'll say it to Harry and we'll have a discussion about it. And then we're like, do you know what? Yeah. So we're always open to change. But yeah, it's a long road, man. It's not just, it's not just getting on stage and cutting hair. Yeah. It's getting on stage and really thinking about how can I articulate this so someone can actually understand what I'm saying and can take it away and actually use what they've learned rather than just look at someone and think, I can't do that, or they feel a little bit disheartened by it.
Well, what Stell's trying to get at is that we're always looking to upgrade. Upgrade our education, make it even better so the student can learn and take it away and make more sense of, of the actual process.
Yeah. Right. So one thing I wanted to ask you, Harry, is on that basis that you guys travel and stuff. There was a video I saw, and I think it's on your Instagram page. I don't know if it'd be on YouTube or anything. So anybody that's watching, they might have to scroll down your Instagram a while. But when you guys went to Brazil, was it in Brazil? You went on stage and you came out and everybody was cheering for you. Right. Now, guys, if you haven't seen this...
That was a special moment, man.
If you haven't seen, so how many people were there?
Looking about close enough to 3,000, most probably.
Okay, so there's 3,000 people that have booked in to watch these guys as well.
No, just Harry. I was away on holiday. Just Harry went for that one.
Yeah,
we done another one together in Chile, which was with loads of people. But
Right.
that one, the famous one where he runs out.
Yeah.
That's actually a very big barber event in Brazil.
Okay, so they've gone there to see a few barbers, Harry being one of them. I never thought before this that I'm going to see thousands of people go somewhere to watch a barber cut hair on stage.
Oh, it's
right.
And you're by yourself as well, yeah? The whole stuff with two big cinema screens.
Okay, but...
And they're all sitting there and they're like...
but that's not what threw me off. What threw me off is the fact that the light's closed, there's a spotlight on you, and you get introduced, and everybody starts chanting your name like you're famous. And that blew my mind, because no disrespect to what we do, but I never thought I'd see a barber get a response like that.
That's why I always say believe in your ability and believe in your dreams, and anything is possible. For me, that moment was a special moment, because, you know, when I never expected that. When they announced my name and I can hear the cheers happening and the energy was rushing through me, and I'm like, I can't just walk out.
Weren't they chanting?
Do you know what I mean? I can't just walk out. Yeah.
I was in Cyprus at the time, and I see it on the feed. He called me just before he went on, and he goes, "Bro, there's so many people, man." He goes like, I said, "Go out there, man. Go do." And bro, when I saw the videos after, I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It's like an amphitheater.
And it's not just only just obviously when getting introduced, they cheer you as you're cutting hair as well, when you're performing your techniques that they've seen.
Yeah.
So over the years of seeing your techniques, you're you know, they were screaming out, we can't see. So they were getting the video guy to like do it again, and I'm thinking, why are they shouting at me? And I'm like, I'm getting confused here, man. Am I doing something wrong here? I'm like, well, I'm not doing nothing wrong, but why are they shouting? So the guy goes, they can't see. I go, all right, well, the camera guy got the right angle. So he goes, do it again. I've done it again. When I mean, can you imagine the place, like, it shook. It just roared off, and everyone got up cheering, and I was like, brought me to my knees. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, wow. But where do I go from here, man? Like, they're dreading in rush. But the whole getting introduced and running out, I'm like, I can't just walk out. So what should I do? So I thought, you know what? Let me do it as a goal celebration. You know when you score a goal? You know, I used to play the Sunday League football and used to do those little goal celebrations. So I just done that whole Ronaldo when he scores a goal, he does his arms out, and I just thought, you know what? Let me lap it up, and it was a special moment. Definitely a special moment.
Surely you never anticipated as a barber that would happen.
No, I never expect. When I heard the cheers before I got introduced, but then it's happened again to us after, me and Stell. So Stell's experienced it in Chile. We've experienced it all around. You know, South America.
There's a lot of love over there.
There's a lot of passion and a lot of love. So, you know, South America, we experienced it, and Stell experienced it as well. So it was like, it was well deserved for like Stell to experience that love. You know what I mean?
What is it like though when everyone's cheering but you have to perform in front of a live audience? This isn't a one-to-one. This is a live audience.
I personally don't get nervous.
You don't?
No, I don't. I look forward to it because I think to myself, I've put a lot of work in, man. I've been cutting hair for the best part of 19 years.
Your mentality's a different breed.
Stell doesn't have that nerve. Stell
I love it, bro.
Yeah, you're cool as fuck, though,
it's
man.
like, I'm so happy. Like, people... Listen, for me, it's a big responsibility. If I'm going up there and okay, I'm one of the lucky few, yeah? Harry is Ego Barbers. He's the guy that created all them videos. He's the guy that, you know, blew up a shop by himself, yeah? Albeit there's been fantastic barbers here, but he is Ego Barbers. So for me, my job's a lot easier. Most of the time, they go there and it's like, they don't know what they're going to get. And then Stell's just like, you know, he pops up and then I'll do my thing. And I know that I'm good at what I do, so I'll always get the respect. But Harry takes a lot of the burden. He's the one that's got to perform, dude. It's him.
The question, they asked me that question, funny enough, the other day, and my wife answered it, and it was quite simple. It was like, he was just born to do this.
Yeah.
If you meet my daughter, Olivia, my younger daughter, she's just like me, and she's just, you know, when you know, she can just do it. She can get up in front of people and perform. And sometimes this is why I always encourage other barbers, follow your field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
you're going to become a businessman, whether you're going to become successful on a chair, a successful educator, a showman. Do you know what I mean? Going on stage. Sometimes it just comes naturally. But look, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, the pressure is on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to perform.
Yeah,
You got to deliver. And you know, hopefully that day doesn't come where, you know, do you know what I mean? You just got to deliver it.
Yeah,
And it comes. And there might be one day when it just doesn't come out no more. You know what I mean?
I think it's you've either got it or you haven't, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's quite simple, man. Sometimes you work hard,
Yeah.
but it's just something that you can't. It's like creativity. You can't teach creativity, or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't teach someone to be someone. Like when I see Stell in the classroom, there's no one like him. No one does what he does in the classroom. So, as Stell said, I will never try and be Stell in the classroom, but I will be who I am in the Barbers when I'm in front of those people.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's who I am, and I'm going to be myself.
It's true. It's true.
It's easy to get complacent when you've been doing something a long time. When you've been any job, I feel like you can get complacent, you can get bored. You guys have been doing not the teaching side, but just in the hair industry a long time. What is it that makes you guys get up in the morning and think, I'm excited to do this again?
For me, personally, I've worked in a lot of different shops. So I live by this philosophy, right? I get to a point that if I feel that I'm not learning or progressing or I'm not achieving nothing in a shop and I don't want to get up and go to work, I have to change. I have to go and get a new challenge.
I remember you said that to me when all them years ago. Stell says to me, I work in a shop until I'm the best one there and then I leave. That's what you said.
I have to go and find people that challenge me. I need to look over and think like, rah, how does that guy do what he does? And I can't do that for all my years of experience. So the moment you feel like you're the best in the shop, and obviously if it isn't yours, yeah, and you just work there, you have to move because there's no point being the best in a shop and then what? The challenge is over. So you got to go and find someone. When I came here, it was a big challenge for me. Yeah, you got to understand. I weren't cutting hair regularly.
Yeah.
Because I was teaching for such a long time, and I came here, and you know, Harry had a lot of good barbers, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so I've got to come and I've got to deliver. So, you know, it's you got to be in that environment where you're tested, and I think if you're tested every day, then you enjoy coming to work. If you're not, then you're going to get complacent. You're not going to be bothered.
That's a testament to you, though. He's been here 3 years, and
Stell's done phenomenal though, because like when it was a challenge for Stell. Not only they had the big, obviously, I'm going to make you my partner in education, and this is the thing is with Stell. I just let Stell get on with it because I knew he had the ability. Not only he had the ability, he's professional, and now he's probably one of the most busiest barbers here. Along with my other barbers here who, they're all good barbers, but Stell's got that the same way, when he's educating in the classroom, he's professional. And he's very good as well at what he does. And I just let Stell get on with it. And that's what I do with a lot of my staff. I let them get on with it and I let them find their rhythm. But Stell's more special than the others, I would say. I wouldn't say... and I'm not putting down my other barbers that I had, but Stell's got that natural ability to be better, and that's what makes him a phenomenal educator because he helps other people become better versions of themselves. So it was tough, but he did it. He did it.
It was hard. For me, my experience coming in, I thought, cool, man, like. It was a challenge for me, but it was a challenge I accepted because I knew I had to work on a lot of things. Because when you teach and you don't do clients regularly, you get rusty. And what you thought was good with your eyes 4 years ago, possibly, is not good enough in modern times. So, and I used to sit there, but me and Harry have constant conversations, whether it's about education, whether it's about our cutting style, whether it's about our philosophies on how we approach hair, our professionalism in the shop, what works, what doesn't work, what needs to be updated. But going back to the original question, I always say that the moment you feel like you've achieved everything in one place,
Yeah.
then you go to the next challenge. Otherwise, it doesn't matter whether you're barbering, whether you're doing IT or whatever, you will get bored, you will get complacent, and then your dreams just die, man. They just like subside and go away.
What have you guys, because both of your skills, your knowledge in the industry is very broad, both of you, very extensive. What have you learned from each other?
So much.
Go on, Stell, do you want to start?
What have I learned? I've learned loads, man. I've learned, do you know, for me being here, it allows me to like run the shop without all the stress of being the boss of the shop. So I've learned that side of stuff, got better at it. I've always had these responsibilities when I go into any shop I've worked with because I'm always 100% committed.
As in like managing?
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is, how to deal with people consistently all the time, away from not just the teaching side of it, but clients. Because ultimately, listen, the education's fantastic, yeah? But our day-to-day...
This is the bread and butter, isn't it?
Is clients. And I remember when I was younger, maybe my temperament with clients wasn't as good as what it is now, but that's through maturity and that's through like understanding there's certain things that you can and can't do. And being in a shop like this, in an area like this, it's really taught me how to deal with a lot of clients to the best of my ability. But I'm still learning, man.
Is this something that you picked up from Harry?
I would say, because Harry is I think it takes a special person to open their own shop, yeah, because you have to be consistently happy to make it successful.
That's
you
tough.
have to be that person that everyone adheres to. They come in, you're always the first person to say hello, you're always the last one to say goodbye. You go out of your way to make sure that each customer that sits in every barber that you employ's chair is happy. And you know, when you don't own a shop, like I've never owned my own shop, it's hard to get into that mindset. But when you watch someone do it, and in a big shop like this with a lot of footfall that comes in, you're like, wow, man, I commend you for that. Because there's days where you don't feel...
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, man, it's a lot. I respect him for that. I learned a lot from watching him. The way that he's a people person. Like, respect.
Thank you, Stell. So talking about Stell, I've learned so much from Stell. First of all, I've learned how to articulate, educate, choose my words, time myself. How to engage with the people on. Big crowds is not a problem. Small crowds is where it's a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're with small crowds, you've got more attention to detail. When it's bigger crowds, it's a show, it's a stage. Do you know what I mean? I'm ego barbers, I'm myself, I'm doing what I'm doing. But when you're actually educating in the classroom, I've learned so much. So I've learned to time myself and to articulate. And I'm still learning now. You never stop learning. So I've learned so much from Stell.
Harry's progression since we started the education's been unreal, because he's the type of person that he knows what he wants to say. He's got a lot of like energy and he wants to get it out, but at the same time we just needed to retrain that, and he's done exceptionally well at knowing when to say what he needs to say, how to control a smaller crowd, how to make a student stay on path. So his growth in that sector has been great, man.
So for a lot of years I've taught martial arts, and what I realised it at the barber school.
Martial arts,
Yeah. I realised it at the barber school with you guys. There was certain people there that I learnt this lesson from. No matter how good you are, it doesn't mean you can teach.
I agree.
No, I agree.
Just because you can cut hair, that's what I said earlier. Just because you're great at cutting hair doesn't necessarily mean it translates to being a good educator. Because there's so many. For me, it's never really about the end product. It's more about the process, and if you can explain the process and get your students to be engaged to really gain from it. Because anyone can cut hair and then showcase it at the end, but if you've missed out the fundamentals of it, or you're not good at explaining it, or you rush through it, you just don't have the time in, and you're not empathetic with the student, because there'll be students in there that they would never admit that they don't really get what you say, but I probe to make sure that I can explain it in another way, because I want to make sure if I've got 10 students in the class and I'm trying to explain a certain part of a haircut, they need to all understand it. And if it involves me saying it 5 different ways, then I will find 5 different ways to cater for them students.
What's funny was when we were at the barber school, you were teaching people from now. You guys teach people that can already cut hair.
Yeah.
You were teaching people that never picked up a pair of scissors before.
Yeah, that was challenging.
And you had, I realized that you and Theo had this fucking patience that I'd never seen in people.
There's still
before.
patience now. You still have to have patience now, even with people that do cut hair. Look, for me, you could put me in front of on stage 3,000. Doesn't matter how many thousand people. For me, I find that easy. But when you're in a classroom of 10, 15, it's a different ball game.
They're expecting something
because
different.
you need to deliver education so they can understand, and it all comes with articulating it and explaining it in a way which you find yourself slowing yourself down instead of trying to fit everything in at one time.
Yeah.
And that's I think with me and Stell, we always learn off each other with a lot of things as well in life in general.
It works because we're different as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can never be Harry and do what Harry does, but at the same time, he can never be me. But we can get close to each other in them different aspects and take from each other. And it works really well as a team, as a unit, because I can trust that, you know, he'll have my back if maybe I have an off day, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important. I feel when you try to do it by yourself, you have to be always on top form, and there's days where you're not. You know, it's just life. But I can always rely on him, and that's a good thing for me, and vice versa for him. So.
I can still shake the stage though, innit?
Right.
I've got this thing, if we get like a dodgy stage and it's a bit wonky, what I do is I sort of like shake it and it really winds up still.
Right, so one of the last things, is there anything about the industry that you guys don't like? Look,
I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not the kind of person that likes to put people down. There's a lot of things that I don't like, but I'd rather keep them to myself, sorry. And that's me being a professional. I don't want to put people down, and there's a lot of things that I don't like, but I'm going to keep that to myself. Okay. Maybe next time.
There's a few things. There's a few things that I don't like, but I think the main thing that I would like to see that I don't think happens enough is through mine and Harry's experience and traveling the world, we've been lucky enough to teach some exceptionally talented barbers, right? And unfortunately, because they don't have mounds of followers on Instagram, they might never be recognized. And I think it's extremely sad, because I've crossed paths with so many people. It's like me, I'll be honest. If I didn't work with Harry and I wasn't partners in Ego, my Instagram is not a big account. So my life is made a lot easier, and I don't have that stress that a young barber has to build up, an Instagram following. But isn't it sad that it comes to a point where it depends how many followers you have to be, regarded or spotted out as a good barber? Because I think it's pathetic.
What Stell's trying to get at, and this is probably one of the main reasons, like, maybe I will say a few things. I think what I find with the industry, I think what Stell's trying to get at is that, especially in the UK, with the barbering scene and the whole, that we're talking about, there's a circle. Yeah. And I think the circle is the same. And it's not giving younger people an opportunity to come into that circle. And it's the same circle that keeps repeating himself. And I think they've had their opportunity. And I think where we want these young barbers like yourself, and many other barbers, we're talking about many outstanding barbers. And I'm speaking for the UK. I don't see that problem around the world. I think opportunities are given more in different countries. But I think, where a lot of things that I don't like is the circle. Come on, man. Guys, if you're watching this, and we're talking about the magazines, we're talking about the cancels, or whoever runs these circles that keep putting the same people on the same front cover, give these youngsters an opportunity. Give these youngsters an opportunity to take that stage, to be able to fulfill what they need to fulfill their dreams, to grow. Because if you keep putting the same people on that same magazine photo shoot, it's boring.
Yeah.
And the problem is this circle keeps looking after each other, and like me and Stell, we're not concerned, man. We've built relationships, business relationships all around the world, and we've got phenomenal relationships that are ongoing now, business and within pleasure as well. With a lot of people that we do business with in many countries, but for the UK's sake and for the young barbers, which you find that it does create a lot of hate and a lot of, like, you know, when you keep that circle the same and it's the same people, it becomes to a point like, what do they have to do? Do you know what I mean? Because what I'm trying to get at is that I know how they feel, because I was that barber that was never given that opportunity from the UK. I created my own success.
Yeah.
And I went for that success, and I made Ego Barbers and Kings of Tomorrow, and with Stell, and everything I've done through my career happen. But it's so difficult as a young barber to be given an opportunity, and this industry in the UK, especially in the barbering, and I'm not speaking for the hairdressing because that's not the industry that we're in, is you're not giving these guys an opportunity.
I think that for someone like me who's not big in the barber industry, we'd look at it like we're not gonna get to that front cover, because, like you said, you always see the same people. But in your professional opinion, how do you feel like that could change?
I'll tell you how I feel like it change. I want to create my own magazine. I want to create my own magazine, which is going to give all these young barbers an opportunity.
Right.
And that is another box that I will tick, and I will create that opportunity for barbers. I will, not only we're going to look at growing that as a brand, as a shop, as a company, and education, which we're doing all around the world, but we're looking to give younger barbers an opportunity, and I feel like creating this magazine myself and creating, you know, the Ego Barbers magazine. And I'll tell you what, I will have young barbers on the front cover of every other issue. Yeah. And I will not put no circle, no big time or whatever so-called barber that you think you are. Because at the end of the day, we're all the same, man. Why am I better than you? Yeah. I'm not better. Why should I be better than you? We're the same. Yeah. Why should I classify myself, I'm up here or whatever? Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. Why should you not be denied an opportunity? Yeah. You know, you've drove 2.5 hours to come and interview us, and that's respect. Why have you done that? Yeah. Why have you chosen to come and do this podcast and drive 2.5 hours?
Because of the level and the.
So don't you deserve to have that story? Yeah. Don't you deserve to have that cover? Or that article? Yeah. And you know what you're doing is not only beneficial for the industry, because, you know, you're going to inspire other barbers to be able to do other things as well. So I think everyone deserves an opportunity. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what upsets me is I know how it feels, and I know why these barbers are creating hate, and they're not giving opportunities, because these magazines and all these other companies they keep putting the same people on that magazine, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. Let somebody else come to the table and eat. Yeah.
I'll give you an example, man. I'll give you a prime example. Barber Stock UK. Yeah. He's a great guy. He come to our shop, and I let him come in, I let him film, and I let him do his thing. Now, he's got a great story to tell. Yeah. He does a lot for the industry. Yeah. Why shouldn't he get a front cover? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Why should it always be about, let's pay for it? Or you know, at the end of the day, you're going to make your money anyway. You know what I mean? You shouldn't just chase the money and someone pay for that front cover. Do you understand? Because your advertising alone will cover your costs for the magazine. So it doesn't even have to be front cover. It could be inside, you know, in the articles, or eventually leading up to that front cover.
I feel like the thing is, for the people that are on the front of the magazines a lot, they're already established, they're already making their money. But
it's been the same people for 6 years.
Yeah, but some of these young guys that people don't know, that front cover could set them up for, you know, big success.
Well, yeah, but what does that say for our industry? You know, they're calling for all the barbers to be registered, and get registered and get your license and this and that. But what respect are the younger barbers going to have for this?
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to tackle these young barbers and you're trying to encourage them to be registered so our industry can have better standards. But you're not presenting them no opportunities yourselves.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking in an old format. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll give you a prime example. Yeah, you're gonna go to a restaurant and it's gonna be, it's gonna be a famous restaurant. I'll give you an example.
Right.
You're gonna go there once.
Yeah.
You're gonna go there again.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna get bored, aren't you?
Yeah.
You want to try something new.
Yeah, of course.
So we will go to a new restaurant.
Yeah.
It's the same with our industry, man. Like you want to see different stuff. You want to give these youngsters an opportunity because they're talented. And if you're not giving the UK barbers an opportunity to grow, what we're saying for the next generation.
Yeah, I agree. I think what was funny was Barber Stop was showcasing barbers on his account that people hadn't heard of, and then after a while, I can't remember what barber platform it was on Instagram, but they put this post out saying, today we're going to showcase barbers with less than 5,000 followers. Why would it matter?
Do you know that there's one person that we work closely with that I have mounds of respect for, yeah? And he's a guy called Bird, all right? Sharp Fade. He is constantly someone that tries to use his platform and his page to try and bring on as many people that you would never have heard of. And some of the stuff that he drops on his page, it's all to opinion and taste, but it's the fact that he's putting it out there and you think, wow, okay, cool.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, so... for me and Harry, I'm glad that we work with someone like that because I respect what he's doing for an industry. Now, going to what Harry said, I mean, it's not necessarily the artist's fault that they're consistently on these pages. I don't think that's the thing that you're getting at, but it would be nice if, as the UK, we could showcase more of these young, talented barbers because, trust me, there's loads of them.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of them.
They get no showcase. It's the same circle, and I just think the industry is come to a stage where these barbers are just not feeling inspired to come forward and keep pushing the boundaries to grow.
I've never even bought a barber magazine once in my life, never, because I just feel like it is that circle, and I'm not going to see anything that
you haven't seen before.
That I haven't seen before. Yeah.
And it's not just the magazines. We're talking about the companies out there as well, the stages, and there's so many opportunities that you can present to these younger barbers to put themselves out there.
I agree. Right, guys, just to wrap up before we finish, just a couple of things I want to ask you both. If you could do any job in the world that wasn't cutting hair or teaching, what would it be?
I'd probably be an architect.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're there?
Yeah. It's always something that's interested me.
Okay.
I like the detail in it. I like the fact that you can design stuff, and be quite extravagant with it or keep it quite minimal.
It's funny how that translates to what you do as a...
Yeah, it's something that I've always had an interest for. I'll be honest with you. If I didn't go into the realms of cutting hair, I definitely would have invested. It was just circumstances at the time. I could have been an architect,
wow.
but I feel that I have skills that could adapt to something like that, and it's something that I do find an interest in. So yeah, I'll probably be an architect.
That makes sense. Harry?
To be a football manager.
Yeah, that's all right. It's funny because I hear people say a footballer, but you don't hear about the manager.
Nah, a football manager. I would have loved to have been a football manager. I fancy myself as a good one as well.
Do you reckon you would have won a Champions League?
Everyone watches. Everyone watches football and everyone's a manager. I feel like I can be that manager because I always see what is wrong with that team and what it needs, and I find myself that I'm always correct. I don't know if I'm being like every other fan, but I'm like,
maybe you're correct in your mind. Like,
but when you can see it and you're like, this ain't working, and like change it, and then the manager change it and it works.
But then
it doesn't work if it doesn't change it.
But then this is the thing as well. You're like, what you want to do, you're essentially using those same kind of skills in here. Like, Stell wants to be an architect because he can design. You're managing a team in here. Do you feel like that's It's those.
I feel like I can manage a football club. I feel like I can manage my. I feel like I can manage Tottenham Hotspurs. You know what I mean? I actually do. Yeah, football manager.
Right. Lastly, what's next for you guys with the brand? Anything you've got coming that you want to mention?
We got a lot of work to do in America, so we're waiting for things to open up properly. We've got contracts to fulfill with an amazing person called Matt, which is the Tony and Guy Academy in Connecticut. There's 2 academies, and there's a lot of work to be done there. So that is our next journey, and it's a big one as well. So that's going to sort of put us out there and take up a lot of our time at this present time. But we're always open for new projects that will come along the way.
Yeah, there's stuff that we've been discussing over the lockdown. I haven't really stressed too much about it because we believe that everything will take its course. I don't feel that we need to rush because we're in our own lane. I don't worry too much about what other people do, so therefore it doesn't affect me, because I feel that if we like that, it will just put too much pressure on the process, and I like the process to be quite organic, and I want to let it be. So there is stuff in the pipeline, quite a few projects that we need to take care of, and then in here obviously build the best team possible to free me and Harry up to do even more of the stuff that we want to do, because you've got to understand it's only me and Harry. So the moment you take one of us out of here, it is bad enough as it is. You take 2 of us out, I mean, me and Harry will fly 14 hours or 15 hours to go to Chile, and then we're straight back into work the next day. So we've got to find a balance to allow us to do these other projects that we've got. So, but there'll be loads of work, man.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate opening the doors.
Thank you for coming down, man.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, man. Thanks for coming, bro.
Guys, if you aren't aware of these lot, I'm going to put the socials up. Check them out, especially if you're in the Barber game. You'd probably already know about them. If you don't, I'll tag it. If you can follow us on YouTube, like, share it, all that kind of stuff. We're also on, the podcast is on Spotify and iTunes. Thank you for watching. My name is Ban Nicolau, Harry Karolis, Stell, the talent, Ego Barbers. Stay tuned, you'll see me soon.
Enough love.